Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. This is part two of our collective message. If you didn't see part one, there is a free link right there in the description box. You can check that out and then bounce back over here. But let's get to part two because we were leaving it on a cliffhanger, which is sorry, guys. I'm having one heck of a hair day today. We have got some kind of like masculine who is filled with the disappointments of the fact that he's lost the feminine through his own actions, right? But at this point, he's having all this awakening, right? We didn't get to see how she's going to be feeling about it. So that's where we're going to go at the moment, okay? We have got the Knight of Cups sideways for her. Where we saw her in part one is on this kind of like hermit's journey and looking more just toward her own future and what she feels she is being guided to like pattern her life as. And it kind of seems like she's been someone who kept to herself, who's about to start interacting more heavily with the world. But when it comes to him, she's basically been on shutdown. She doesn't think about him. She's already moved on from this. And so to start this out and say, like, in her mind, if he's going to be presenting his case to her, presenting his thoughts to her, it could be that she simply is going to look at him like, I don't know if they're emotionally manipulative or emotionally immature, or they want to tell me that they care about me, but their kind of caring might not be at all the kind that I would want to receive. Hanged man. Also, they could come across as a Pisces to her mind, which could be somebody who's like got a bit of a dreamer's energy. Hi, Rossi. A bit of a dreamer's energy, somebody who tends to get tangled up in their head, make big delays. I just don't think that they are at the forefront of her mind at all. With the Page of Cups, if they are coming in to give her an apology, you can see she's kind of like, look at the facial expression. It's a little bit like, okay, all right. It's kind of like she's over it. And she sits here as a mermaid. Mermaids are mythical creatures, but very, very, very rare, that this fisherman would ever see a mermaid. So I'm just going to say it like this. I think in the nicest of ways, I want to say she has other things that she is meant for. She could be very unique, very special, divine feminine, which everyone is special in their own right, of course. But right now, it kind of feels like she's been so much more activated to think about her future and what role she's going to be playing in this world, right? And the world is right there on that Six of Pentacles and all these hands. And it feels like she's starting to realize, look, I'm on this earth for bigger reasons than to have one shitty relationship with a dude who cheated on me or lied to me about some other relationship he was in. That's small potatoes by comparison to what I think I'm meant to do, or what life path I'm here for. So I have to say their apology seems to be insignificant at this point. Their situation seems to be a little bit like on a scale from, 1 to 10 importance wise, this might be just like a 0.7, like it's not even 1. It's not even really making it on the radar for what's most important right now. That is not to belittle him or the situation, right? His feelings are his feelings, but it does feel like she's saying, and she could be a mother, by the way. We did see that in part one, and I didn't even make mention of it, but we saw that on the strength card right here. And I was commenting that I thought it was interesting that she is pulling away from the lion on purpose and like protecting the child, protecting, things that are more important to her. And so I'm just wondering, maybe she is saying, look, I've built a fairly happy life, but I care more than anything about protecting my child, building a better world for my child. I'm thinking more as not just a mother, but as somebody who has to change the world for the better, because the next generation depends on what I do today. She's looking at her life like, are you kidding me? Romance and relationships are the smallest things on my mind. I care more about what am I going to give to my child? What kind of a world am I giving to my child? I have to participate in making the world better because I care more about That's going to be my legacy, but it's also going to be the world that I hand off to my baby. I could see how, in some ways, what I would almost say is that she's shifting from a feminine energy to a masculine energy here. She wants, and all I mean when I say that is the masculine energy is the energy of the sun. It's the projection energy, right? It's the energy that, like, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go build this, I'm going to go impact this directly with my action. The feminine energy is like, I'm going to nurture, gather, reward, pull toward me things that I can then, welcome into my world. It's the gravitational pull of the moon. And I just can't help but say, it feels like during this very powerful feminine energy, the feminine is flipping and saying, I haven't got time for even relationships that didn't get off the ground because somebody couldn't really directly give to me. But I've now stepped, and I'm in the energy of I direct, I push forward. So it could be that we are seeing, in a more general sense, the feminine is like, F all of this. You can't have a car driving itself. Somebody needs to be behind the wheel. So damn it, I'm sitting behind the wheel now, and I'm going to drive this forward. You know what? I kind of like totally understand that, because it seems like with somebody who was wishy-washy or playing games before, I can see why she's got no more time for any games, because it's like, are you kidding me? There's way bigger things at stake here. And I don't even care about romance and relationship at the moment, because somebody has to lead this world towards something better. Here's the thing, it's so interesting that the masculine is all tangled up in just like the smaller aspect of, but I want this relationship, and she's looking at the world and the future that she'll leave behind as like, I'm legacy minded now. I'm being guided to step forward and step into some kind of lead position. Interesting to see a role swap here as far as like what matters most, but we also see her motivation. The masculine seems to be more like, I want love, and she's more like, I love the children, so I have to make a better world for the children. I have to be in the driver's seat. And maybe this is a little bit like, you masculines didn't do it, so now I have to, because you don't seem to care about the future the way I do. You don't seem to have as much at stake. You're thinking short term. I'm the one thinking long term. And I'm not saying that that's a masculine or a feminine trait. Okay. Please remember, what I'm talking about is the energy of the sun versus the moon. I'm not actually attacking dudes and chicks. But we do see she's the core of the family here. We got that 10 of Pentacles, and everybody's surrounded by her. He's like the guest who just happens to be visiting. Now, this is not to make some commentary, so please don't take it and be like, oh, wow, Kate thinks that the women in this world are better than men. No, not at all. I think we need each other. I think we need the different strengths that are brought to the table. But in this storyline, we see a feminine and a masculine, if we want to call him that, that it's like he forgot what his role was, and he's relearning it right now. And in the meantime, she had to pick up what he wasn't doing and maybe play both roles. And now if he wants to come back in, he's going to have to step in and be the role that he should have played. Now, again, I'm not talking about gender specific roles. The man goes out and makes some money, and the woman stays home and bakes the bread. No, I'm not a trad wife, anything like that. That's all bullshit. But it is complementary energies of the universe where we both bring strengths, and we're supposed to build together. And, we're better when we have a complement. Everything in the world is better when there's a complement. That the daylight also needs the darkness. The summertime also needs the wintertime. Like, there's opposing structures create balance in the universe, right? Different strengths complement. Then it's not one's better than the other, but both have to pick up the slack and do their whatever their tasks are, or find a way to balance it out. And when there's an imbalance, we see a feminine stepping into, well, then I guess I'll do it all and step aside. I don't need or want you because you weren't participating. So now if you want to participate, you're going to have to like earn your way back in and start showing me what are you bringing to the table. If you just want me to love on you again, you can fucking forget it. I'm not giving to you again. I'm giving to the children. I'm giving to the future. I'm giving because I have to put my energy toward the role that you didn't help me. You didn't contribute to. You hid out, you cheated, you had somebody else on the side. You never put all your energy in a basket with me and built with me. So now I have to play both roles because you weren't around. Oh, and now you want to come back? You mean you think I'm going to love you again, give to you again? That's not the way this is going to be. I have too much work to do. So if you want to come back in, you have to offer something. You have to give and show me what is your compliment. You know, if you're going to stand there and be like, well done, that's not the kind of complimentary energy I'm looking for. Look, I know any way I say it, this is going to sound, like I'm talking, traditional gender roles. And I genuinely am not. It's just, I don't know how else to explain this storyline. So forgive me if I'm not finding the best vocabulary or if it sounds like I'm saying something stereotypical. I don't actually mean it that way. Yeah, Elle, you angel, thank you so much. You are so, so generous. Thank you, Angel. You are so sweet. Thank you, babe. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure something out over here. I'm not sure. Okay. So, we having some sometimes I gotta look up once in a while and attend to a few things. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the little interruption here. There we go. All right. Yeah, Elle, thank you, Angel. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so lovely. All right, so onward we go. So we have a Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles has been like a slow arrival. Here's the thing, this storyline seems like it is starting to take another turn, which could be a turn to say, you notice, I was like, the masculine has arrived. He is transported in with the energy of the sun. There is this awakening. So although with everything I've just like maybe over explained with what I'm seeing for the feminine's perspective and where her mind is not on him at all and not even on relationship at all, but rather on building something and being family oriented and also leadership oriented all at the same time without expecting a companionship to help her do any of this. It's crazy because it actually says, although it's been a long, slow journey, it says that the divine masculine has come to that same conclusion. What the hell have I been doing? I should have been playing a complementary role. I should have been playing a role side by side with the feminine and been, trying to offer. We have a Queen of Swords sideways. They're still very aware that she may be practically a hologram at this point, and what he remembers of her or whether or not he could ever get her to like even kind of give him the time of day, that might not be possible anymore. She might have a pretty poor opinion at this point because he's way late to the game of stepping up and being a participating, person in a relationship. Let me ask maybe the biggest question here, which is, masculine, what is it that has changed so much in you at this point? Because it says you're very aware with that Knight of Wands energy in the past and the hiding another person, and that was real unsavory. I'm not gonna lie. We got the Ten of Swords, we got the Hanged Man, saying all of that, dragging my feet, delaying, not sure if I wanted to give. All that's done. I mean, that's great. That's great that now you have had some realization that you'd actually like to participate with some really amazing feminine that you could have offered something to a long time ago, but you were busy playing still. But the playing days are over. Ace of Cups, Six of Wands. He has great admiration for her and great love for her. Again, he sees her as like a mother figure and as a feminine who has so much to offer, so much to give. She's winning some award here, and it's like in her own right, she's her own person and is very successful at being her own person. He may think, I mean, my God, she's excels in everything she's gone after in her life, but at the same time, she's got this wonderful nurturing energy that I just love. I love her softness. I love her strength, all of those things. Why did you not see any of this before? Why were you busy playing games before? King of Cups in the reverse. I was greedy for attention, and this is emotional manipulation. Lots of times when we see those court cards in the reverse, I always feel like it's the thing that they don't have, the things that they don't have that they get hooked on, like I'm hungry for satisfaction because I'm not satisfied in myself. And it's, so then we go out and we try to fulfill satisfaction with something outside of ourselves instead of saying, hey, this is the indicator to say, why am I behaving this way? What do I need to work on in me? And instead, we get characters that get stuck in that cycle of, this is how I'm going to behave because of a lack that I have, but I'm not going to look at where that lack comes from and try to fulfill the lack. I'm just trying to get other people to fill it for me. 5 of Wands. There's been a lot of thought processes that they've done. And in this case, you know what? If I'm going to have to say something else here that's going to sound all gender related, but I'm not trying to at all. He had to work through something on his side as well. We see like two masculines, like kind of like a brotherhood energy, like both feeling lost, feeling like, I don't know that I know how to deal either with my own emotions, or it's I have emotions, but I've been shutting them down for so long. And then that confuses and crosses signals, and I can't figure out, am I allowed to feel the feels? Instead, I shut everything down because, that's overwhelming, including shutting down the ability to love. But then I want somebody to show me love, but I'm not going to give it back in return. It feels like there was some kind of wound at a masculine level that had to be healed as well. I don't think that they intended to disrespect the feminine. This says their own masculine wound threw them into chaos, and they didn't know how to just be who they were, but they wanted the feminine, but not too close. This is so murky and it's so hard to explain. But if one thing, let's talk about making a sandwich. Okay. If you're going to make a sandwich and you've got, the stuff you're going to put in the middle of the sandwich, whatever, your meat, your condiments, and then you got your bread. That's like the two halves of what a sandwich is, right? You got your bread and then you got whatever's going to be inside. And that would be like the masculine and feminine complementary energies to make a sandwich. But let's say your bread is like whatever, the batch that got baked didn't have, the right amount of gluten in it, and the bread's not holding together, or, it's falling apart. So the structural integrity of the bread is not stable enough. Therefore, it's going to be really hard to make a sandwich. No matter what, you're going to pile on handfuls of crumbs and try to mush it together, and you're not really going to be able to have a sandwich, even if the ingredients are all there. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that it would be really hard to expect him to step up and, be whatever role he's going to be in a relationship when he right now is crumbly bread. We've got to first, get those crumbs to hold together and be the bread that it's supposed to be. And that required him to be able to work on himself first before he's going to be able to be a part of that sandwich. And it's like, and it could have been the reverse at different points in time, and probably is. Sometimes maybe it's the feminine who's not, not feeling like her ingredients are solid. That's just kind of like the metamorphosis of how characters, have to evolve, and they go through things in life and they become better versions of themselves. But it looks like that's the best way I could describe what was missing at one point in time. It wasn't ever directed at the feminine, that he was like callous or not caring or wanting exactly to play games. But I definitely think that was the byproduct of these wounds that he needed to deal with first in himself. Himself, herself, does not matter. This could be same-sex couple, but one played this role and one played the other role. But all of this just boils it down to, he's not crumbs anymore. He's a full slice of bread. He can make the sandwich now. That's the best way I could describe this. 6 of Pentacles. And yes, he doesn't just want to show up in her life and be like, okay, now you can love me. I'm ready to receive more. He's actually not showing up for that. He is showing up and saying, you have different strengths, but I want to share my strengths now. I want to be a part of the symphony. I want to interact now. And it's crazy because we have her sitting in front of a sign that says save the planet. And I'm wondering if the masculine is now stepping up and saying, damn it, we need to think about the future for the children. We need to think about what we're leaving behind. We need to be present. We need to be participating. We need to put our energy toward, it's not even just for us It's not for like, ooh, I want to be this powerful leader. It's that I am motivated to do something that is positive for the people that are in my life and also for the generations that will come after me. They're thinking more along the lines that she is as well. We have to, and we need everybody. We need all the feminines, we need all the masculines, and we need the complementary energies to work together in harmony. No more warring of the masculine and the feminine, no more rejection of each other's strengths or criticizing what the other one brings to the table, but instead, now let's work together. And I feel like that's what the big message is here. And if that's really how he's showing up, I do not see her saying, well, screw you, we don't need you now. Because then that would be toxic femininity, who's like, too late. I don't care what you have to offer, not receiving anything. Look, she may not fall back in love with him. Maybe their love story is not going to be possible, but this is, remember, we went from like a love story to like this bigger scale story, certainly on the feminine's mindset. She's like, I'm not worried about romances. I'm worried about how am I gonna like single-handedly course correct the shape of the world for the next generation. Well, she doesn't have to do it alone after all. He's on board. The masculine is showing up to the party in a way for a while he didn't know if he could. So I would say this is amazing. Whether or not these two have a future as like lovers, I don't know, but they certainly can start to work together. And we need the masculines and the feminines back on the same team. We cannot have that distance and that, this is your role, this is my role, you do your job, or it's more like they both have to have the same idea of what are we working for. And then of course we have different strengths that we bring to the table, but what is it that we're working for? What is that, if two people are both invested in the same beautiful future, they're going to pour the best of what they've got into it. And it's going to be like, oh my God, like that's where it feels like you have my back and I have yours. Even if we come to the table with different strengths, we're working for the same outcome. And I think that's the building of the partnership. I do think this is going to illuminate something. You notice how the sun is now behind her. She's going to realize, and the moon is behind her here and the sun is behind her here. She's going to realize, oh my God, the thing I thought would never happen, or the masculine I thought would never be a part of any of this, I am realizing they're surprising me in a really good way. I'm not standing here by myself trying to figure it all out after all. I kind of think this is going to heal a great deal. It's definitely going to warm her heart, but you notice he is standing right behind her at this point, being, like that support network after all, that participating energy. So the sun and the moon together, and she's the one who's becoming aware of it. Like when this change happens in the masculine, she will notice the difference, and it will be something that makes her very happy. I don't see this as a feminine who's like, well, F you, you're too late to the party. I don't see that at all. I see it as, actions are going to speak louder than words, obviously, but I do see there's a lot of, I don't know, just like, it's just time to build now. It's not even time to like hammer out these details and the minutia of, well, you did this in the past, so you have to, make up for exactly that or exactly this. It's more like when he's showing up and he actually has something to offer and he's doing it, that's what's going to turn the tides. All right. Sorry, I know that was still kind of abstract. I didn't expect the storyline to go in like a macro and a micro level at the same time. That was a very hard story for me to tell. You guys, thank you so much for being here. So the video is glitching again. Aquapura, I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's so many problems that I'm experiencing on YouTube now, you guys. There were new features that were rolled out, and every time this happens, what I have noticed is all of a sudden my channel's not working right. And sure enough, that happened. There were 2 new features that showed up and other features that are missing now. And so all week I was not able to have videos processed. And I'm sorry, when I get into a story, sometimes I forget how long it's getting because I don't look up. So if you guys are experiencing glitches, I'm sorry. But I send you guys so much love and thank you guys for being here. I will be putting out Zodiacs after this. I won't do any of them live and I'm going to try to keep them shorter. but I want every zodiac to get a full moon message today if I can possibly manage it. All right, you guys, I send you so much love. Yael, thank you, Angel. You're beyond kind. Thank you so much. And thank you for your generosity and just in general, you guys, thank you. I can't tell you what a great, just community this is. You guys, I'll look up and you guys have been like looking out for me in the comments as well. And I'm so incredibly touched, you guys. It's so beyond kind. I've never seen a community like this anywhere. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, you guys. Aries, love right back at you, babe. NES. It's a 2222. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Whitman Clan, thank you. Sarah J, Blue Star, Sandy. Thank you, everybody. Friend Forever, nice to see you, babe. Courtney Walsh, Paris Jade Humphrey, GOSC 10P, RS Love, thank you, hun. Love and Light Libra, Red and Albert Show, hi, honey. Excuse me, guys. CDW, Peepa Doodle Designs, wonderful to see you. Thank you again, Yael. All right, you guys, sending you tons of love. I will see you throughout the day and some zodiacs. Hi, Deb, Raina McCall. Rainia Kamal. Forgive me. I don't know what is wrong with my lips today, Rainia. Lillian Tidwell. Hi, hun. And Rossi, you were first in the house here. Naomi Torres. Wonderful to see you. All right, you guys. Lots of love. Bye for now.